Hi everyone. This portion of the video we're going to be talking about two categories. We're going to be talking about the categories of utilities and the category of space. Because they are so similar, we can do two of these categories in one video, and I don't think it will take too long. So in front of us, this is the home page. Once you enter the OS portal with your email address and your password, which was provided to you by Christina, you will see this page here. On the third box down, you'll see report summary in blue, and this is where you'll start your report. You'll see your categories. If you see utilities, you'll go to your right side under interim report. You will click on edit, and this will take you to a new page, which is where you enter your utility expenses. This is your report for utilities. So the first thing, much like all of the other categories, you should do is read the instructions. There are instructions in the middle here that pretty much tell you exactly what I'm going to do in this video, how to expense these items. And for utilities, you can expense gas, electric, steam, oil, and water. You don't need to expense all of them. As long as you account for the amount that was given to you, then you are fine. So if electric is able to account for that grant amount that you are given, then you're all good to go. You can just put in your electricity expenses. So first thing you need to do, like the other categories, you need to enter an expense first. So first thing is putting in the name of the company. We get a lot of Con Edison because they're a big electric provider in New York. So I'll do a Con Ed bill. For date billed, that is the date that you were billed. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the date that the service was given to you. So usually if you receive a bill in July, you were billed for the previous month's services. So you were given electric services in June, they bill you in July. Well, that is what we are expensing, that July bill. So technically, even though we're paying for services that were given to you in June, that bill says that you are getting that cost there in July, so that is the month and the date that it is billed. Under that, you'll see monthly charge, and this is the total on the invoice, the total that is on the bill. So, and before I continue, this is not counting previous balances. If you did not pay the previous balance for a previous month, and it is added onto this month, you cannot add together this month and last month's bill and expense that. This is just for the period that you were billed for this month of July. So I'll say it was $500 for the bill. And monthly days in operation, I get a lot of confusion here as well. So the HipNap OS grant is funding your food program. So this is not funding your whole organization. So if your food program is only open once a week, you cannot put that it is open every day of the week because your organization itself is. So a good guideline is that this should account for your distribution days, which are the days that you distribute food to the public. Your preparation days, if you have a separate day to prepare food for that distribution day, and your delivery days that you are receiving food if it is a separate day. Let's say it's 3 days a week. You have 1 day for each of those things that we do, and for a month you do 12 days. That would be 12 days. So I'll do 12. I'll save record, and that record will show up here. It has the date that I put in, that I was billed, the charge, the full charge, the days that the days of the month, I'm sorry, and the daily charge, which is divides the monthly charge by the 31 days. You also have your monthly days of operation, and it will multiply the daily charge by the days in operation and give you a prorated rate, and this is the amount here. It says maximum amount eligible, and it says actual amount eligible. That is the amount that you are expensing. Okay, so once you see that you have created that expense, you can upload your files. So for your bill file, this would be your invoice or your bill or even your billing history. You need to show us that you were billed on that day. I'm going to upload a test here. If it's a PDF, you should be fine. Click on upload, and it will show up there. You see this view button will show up after you have uploaded something. You should view it so that you know that it is the right document that you were trying to upload. and yes, it is, and then you're all set. You can X that out, and then you can go to where it says payment files. If over here in payment files you do the same thing, except over here you are uploading you can upload several things. If you pay by a checking account, you will upload that bank statement that shows that you paid Con Edison. If you paid by a check, you will upload a canceled check that shows that you paid Con Edison and that they cashed the check. If you don't have a canceled check, you have that check image and you have a checking account that shows that the check was cashed. That is okay as well. But those are the three options, and you can review the OS manual to see what documentation is eligible proof for you to enter here and will be okay for you to report. If you have any changes as well, if you on the right side under action, if you want to change something about the expense, you click on edit like I did there, and that information that you had entered will show under here, and then you can make the change if you want. You can delete the record if you want. Make sure you save it if you make a change, or you click on delete if you don't want to make the change, and you'll be all set. So you'll have to do this for all of the items that you are expensing. Oh, and just a note, if you have the billing history, you can use that as the bill file, and if you have a payment history, which Con Edison does provide both, you can put that over here, the payment history, as the payment file there. Okay, then you'll click on View Summary to go back to the home page, and we are going to go on to space costs because it's very similar, and I can show you this very quickly as well. So if you see space here, you'll click on Edit, which is under Action, under Interim Report. Very similar to the Utilities page, you'll have the instructions here, and this is as if you're entering an expense here because you paid your landlord for the space cost. So you'll have the landlord name, and we have a lease agreement which you submitted in the HipNap application, so it should have the same name that is on the lease agreement. So let's do a test here. Check payable to, this is not a required field, but you should put it anyway if it is different from the lease agreement. If it's not, then you can leave it blank. The month that you are paying for, let's say it's July. The monthly rent, which should show on the lease agreement and should equal what it says on the lease agreement. So if I'm paying $1,000 a month, I'll put $1,000 a month. And same thing as before, monthly days in operation has to do with your food program, and it has to do with the days that you are distributing, the days that you are preparing food for the distribution, and days that you are accepting deliveries. So I will put 12 there for the month. I will save it, and it'll show up there as like it did before in the utilities list. It'll have July, the month. It will have the rent, the amount that I put in before, the daily charge, and it'll prorate this here for you based on the monthly days in operation. So this is the amount that is eligible for you. It'll say actual amount eligible, and that is the amount that you are expensing. And for space costs, you only have to upload a payment file because we have your lease agreement already, so you won't need to upload a bill. You just need to upload the canceled check that is made out to the landlord that shows on the lease agreement. So you'll click on upload. Similar to all of the other categories, you'll choose your file. So you'll have a scan of that canceled check. You'll choose it, you'll upload it, you'll see that it shows up. You'll click on view, which gives you a chance to make sure that the document that you uploaded is correct. You'll wait for it to load so that you can actually see the image, which is here. This is what I uploaded there, and I'll say, wow, that looks great. I can go back to my home page, and I am all set with my utilities and my space costs. Okay, that will conclude this section of the two categories for utilities and space costs. If you have a different category, you can look at the other videos that will be here as well. Thank you very much. Take care.